NBA 2K26 has unlocked the builder for my career, and we are going crazy. I've been breaking down all the official builds that they already revealed, giving you guys an understanding of the new mechanics, things like the new cap breaker system, the max plus twos, the brand new specialization feature. These things are changing the game drastically. And the big topic is, how do you make the build with these new features and these additions and the changes that are coming? They're so drastic and so large that I have spent already 10 plus hours just kind of sorting through a bunch of different builds and the systems as much as possible for you guys on these videos. Today, we're diving into specifically your build. I want you to get on NBA 2K25, take a look at your build with me as I break this down and teach you basically how it's possible for the same build you already made to make something similar, adjust it to the new systems, mechanics, and the features that's going to be implemented. Okay, so go ahead, turn it on, come on back, let's get into it. All right, I assume you've been watching and you know what a max plus one or max plus two is, and you know what cap breakers are. I'm not going to go through that. This is kind of more of somebody who's been on the channel paying attention, and we're going to dive right on in. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is introduce you to my current build in NBA 2K. This is one of the builds that I played comp with. We won 15K this year, and this was one of the builds that I played with. I like to ISO. I like to have some type of defense, and it was okay. It wasn't the best build. I actually have a variation of this that I play on as well, but we're going to use this as an example, something similar that you can do. Okay. And the point of it is, it has decent shooting, strong finishing, really nice dribbling and passing, you know, a 91 to be able to get lightning launcher. And then you have to have a 91 to have gold badges for gloves and interceptor. We'll talk about the badges in a second. It's going to be playing zone defense, so it doesn't need to get rebounds, but it can if you're playing like threes or twos or five or ones, and then everything else, you know, kind of standard for the most part. All right, we're not going to get into the attributes because this is going to be about your max plus twos. We're going to start talking about how this is going to work. So you have tier 1 and tier 2, and you can basically buff these up. All right, so you can use a max plus 1, turn lightning launch, which is what I do with this build, turn it into legend. Okay, and then you can use your tier 2 max plus 1 and put something else up in here. Personally, I like putting it on layups, but it depends on you and your play style. Sometimes I put it on dimer if I'm playing with players who need the buff. Just depends, whatever you're feeling. But we're going to talk about max plus twos with this very same build, because now all of a sudden I can have interceptor on legend. All right, gloves or interceptor, whichever one. Now I'm an on ball player. If I put it on gloves, this build can really pluck and get some things going. Let's just say I have a hard time shooting, which I don't, but if I did, I can throw this into legend as well. So basically anything. If I have a hard time with my dribbles and I'm getting plucked a lot, I'm pluckable on legend. Having this is crazy. And the truth is, you get 2 max plus twos this year. You get a permanent one from specialization, and then you get the seasonal one where you earn through the battle pass or season pass, whatever you want to call it. So most likely, if it's me, I want to use my max plus 2 on CSI specialist. Now I'm a deadly shooter, especially when you're playing competitively. You know, to be able to shoot over lockdowns on pick and rolls. I'm going to use a max plus 1 here permanently as well. So let's just act like we put the permanent ones on these two, a deadly shooter and good speed. And then the flexible max plus 1 and 2 that is from the season, I can decide to do anything I want. Maybe interceptor if I just want to play zone defense, or if I'm playing on ball defense, I'd rather go with glove. Depends on what my position is as the guard, the point guard. Sometimes, this build is not made to be a lockdown, but if you want to put me out there and we're not playing organized for money, I'll gladly put on glove and get some steals. See? And so from there, I can also just say, hey, I need better handles. It's been rough out there against these lockdowns. Okay. And that's going to be insane. Another big one, of course, is limitless range, and you can think about putting it on. And again, K26 is not out when I'm making this video. So my assumptions is that I can still shoot very good, lights out with gold set shot specialist. I felt very comfortable this year, but maybe I need better limitless. We don't know the actual values this year. So anybody telling you to go and make a specific build is lying. I want you to go into your build and think about, oh, where could I max plus 2 things on? I'm going to get 2 max plus 2s and 2 max plus 1s. Then you're going to go to tier 2 and do the same thing. All right. So now I can have legend dimer for my teammates. I really feel like I want to boost them up. Sure. I can get off-ball specialists just because, off-ball is a really dynamic thing. We might need it more this year. They made a new rule where your adrenaline is going to waste the more you off-ball decks. So it's not a good thing. Sucks that they did that, to be honest, but it's going to stop all the cheesy plays. Let's just say I'm playing ones or something. I'd rather put it on mix master because you can't guard me. I'm going to be able to just dominate and take it down. And if I want to be a defensive monster, I can even throw this on here. Remember, I got 2 max plus 2s and 2 max plus 1. So I can turn this into a gold. I can turn my high flyer into a gold. All of a sudden, I'm a defensive monster, even my rebounds. Okay. So this is definitely going to change the builder forever. And I just wanted to show you a guard version of this. And this is my best one that helped me win, 15K. This was one of the builds. And I'm going to show you another one right now. Another build that we use for tournaments and league stuff was something like this. This is basically a pure lockdown. Its one job is to shut down the point guard in the pick and rolls and all of that good stuff. And as you can see right here, it has okay shooting. It has hardly no finishing. It has enough to do cuts to the basket and dunk. Basically, that's all it would do. Not going to go and try to do contact dunks all the time. It's just slipping to the basket and getting a dunk. And then playmaking as well, nothing too crazy. 75 for the lightning launcher. And then it can do very good defensively. Rebounding isn't the best, but overall you see high strength and all this. The reason we're going to go in here, we're going to do the same exact thing. Remember, I have 2 max plus 1s and 2 max plus 2s. Okay, now max plus 1, I can do interceptor if I really want to go hard, right? I can do that. Guess what? I don't need it. It's going to be up there. This build is not finished. I got to just upgrade it. Okay, either way, that's going to be there. Now the question is, what else can I do? What else can I reach? Maybe I want limitless range to spot up from the hash. Remember, the build has like an 85-3. It's not a regular low-level shooter. Could even turn this into somebody who dribbles a little more. But for me personally, defensively, anything defensively, but my max plus 1 for challenger or on ball minutes, depending on this year's setup. Then of course, right here, max plus 1 is what you can put it on for Dodger. You want to have this maxed out at all times. But max plus 2s, where do we go? Where do we do? As I said, offensively, you only have things that you can enhance offensively, because everything else defensively, you're going to have it maxed out anyways, for the most part. So that's where this build would be outrageous. Gonna have legend on all the defensive setups for the most part. Okay. And then offensively, my max plus 2s, put on anything as well. So set shot specialist, limitless if I wanted, lightning launcher. But again, this is a competitive build, so I'm not going to focus on those things. Do set shot specialist and limitless, my max plus 2s. All of a sudden, limitless on gold, then Hall of Fame set shot special. When you go here, this is where it gets crazy. For tier 2, you get 2 as well. Max plus 1 and a max plus 2 and the specialization. And so I'm thinking here, what would be best? How do we go from there? High flyer denier, do anything in here. You don't even need it. This is how crazy this build is. It's already so strong that it's going to be hard to handle this build. And again, it's going to be a new year with a lot of dangerous players. But this is definitely one of those builds that I feel like when I remake it, because the goal would be to remake it knowing the information that we know now, how to maximize this even further. We're not taking into account cap breakers. This season, I didn't get a lot of cap breakers because I've been playing privately, but man, it's good. I got one more for you. This was a build I made literally like 30 days before the new 2K26 is coming out. I just said, hey, let me waste my VC and just make something very quickly. It could be fun. And it's a center at 6'8". And to be honest with you, it out rebounds everybody. It has Hall of Fame rebound and Hall of Fame box out beast. And I'm just too slick with my positioning and my stick skills. They can't out rebound me. 7-footers or better have a hard time. It's really because I position myself well, but that's another conversation. And then in the interior, they can't score on me. If I have my hands up and I jump at the right time for certain things, the key is keeping your hands up, but there's also jumping for specific things that won't be able to be stopped if you just put your hands up. A center guy, but the point is this build is better than you think. It has crazy dribbling, amazing passing, good nut shooting, and contact dunks, okay, and amazing standing dunks. I pretty much dunk a lot on people all game. And I want to go through my max plus ones. I'm gonna have 2 of those, and I'm gonna have 2 max plus 2s also. Okay, so let's just kind of think about what could we do. Of course, I can max plus 1 my rebound just to make sure I'm locked in. We're good to go. And then, of course, that's our specialist on Hall of Fame for a center can stand out in the hash with this type of play style. Okay, that's crazy. And if I wanted to play 1-on-1 or 2-on-2s, ISOing as a center, it's hard to guard because most centers don't have perimeter. You can break their ankles. Love this build. This is one of my most fun builds, and I can't believe I made it so late in the year. And lightning launcher on I'm laughing because it's crazy on Hall of Fame for my center build. It's outrageous. But the things that I would personally do if I was doing competitively, this build doesn't have steals, as you saw. It's not necessarily the best defensive build when it comes to steals and perimeter. So I could just throw it up on interceptor. I wouldn't use my permanent max plus 2 on this, but I would use my seasoned one and put it on this so I can get better interceptions. Specifically put it on 60 just to get it on bronze. And I would buff this up, max plus 2. Okay, there goes that. And that's where this build will stand and be a powerhouse offensively and defensively. And the crazy part is for the max plus 1s and 2s for the tier 2, again, I'll use 1 for my box out, permanent one from the specialization, for example. Then I'm going to look down here and decide, okay, what do I want defensively? Need more perimeter. So I'm going to put my max plus 2 permanent on for paint patroller. All of a sudden, I'm dominating the paint, controlling this thing for real. Could be crazy. Put a max plus 1 on this pogo stick, which is very helpful. Or you can do other things like brick wall if you're going to be a pick and roll player. Since this player can shoot very well and it can ISO, you don't really need to be a pick and roll player. But those are some of the things that you can do with these builds. It's pretty crazy. And now I want to show you something else. I want you to think about these max plus 1s, plus 2s that you're going to be getting. And you'll get one of each from the specialization, and then you'll get the season pass version 1s as well. And what I want you to think about is how many levels are you going up? Okay, it's a lot. 9 levels. I just counted in my head. 9 levels for you to max out and go crazy with this. I had to take a pause. But the point is 9 badge levels that you can upgrade. Now you can't stack these from what I know. It would be insane if you could, but you can't stack them and you have to use them depending on what badge you want. But the point is, it's going to be a crazy year with the type of things you can do. We already seen a bunch of the different builds, and I have a breakdown for each of them on the channel already uploaded and locked in for you to basically figure that out. And, you know, if you want to talk about what build you have right now that you think can do great with this feature, and then of course we'll adjust it when the time comes and the game actually comes out and we test out certain things, we'll find out what's good. One of the biggest things that I would say about this is having gold badges. It's going to be the best because you can boost things up all the way to legend this year if you have them on gold with the specializations and the max plus 2s. So take the time, you know, go through all these videos that I'm doing just to kind of get your mind ready so that you're able to be prepared for the builds that you want to make going forward. Absolutely been having a blast kind of covering this. And to those people that are like, man, you making clickbait videos, the game's not even out yet, you act like you know what build to make. Hey, you're not watching my videos. Clearly they're not watching, bro. So if you'll see them in the comments, don't be mean to them. Kind of help them understand we hyped, we loving it, we having a good time, and they need to stop trying to be a joy killer for us enjoying the excitement of what's possibly coming. You know, feel free to share what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're seeing in your builds in the comments. And like I said, I have tons of videos breaking it down. They should be popping up on screen right now for you to be able to lock in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment if you rock with me and want more. Got y'all back, man. Stay tuned. See you on the next one. Bless up.